call this special meeting of the Board of Trustees to order. This will take us to roll call. Adrian, can you please call it?
Mrs. Barnes?
Present.
Mrs. Borrego?
Present.
Ms. Mendoza?
Here.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Present.
Mr. Cimental?
Here.
Mrs. Stroud did call ahead of time to mention she wouldn't be able to make it to this meeting. And Mrs. Zuniga?
Here. Adrian, I just wanted to apologize to the board and to the community because I've been absent for 2 meetings and I feel like those kids have been through their homework and feel so unprepared. So I apologize. My husband had back surgery, and we all know how husbands are, and it's been a while, but I'm glad to be back. Thank you. Welcome back.
Okay, I will take us to the
Item number 2, open forum. Any person wishing to address the board during the period reserved for public comment at a board meeting must sign up to be heard in accordance with district policy BEE local. Each participant will be limited to 3 minutes to make comments to the board. The board is not permitted to discuss or act upon any issues that are not posted on the agenda for tonight's meeting. For further information on those policies, please contact the superintendent's administrative assistant. For tonight's meeting, we're going to have 16 participants for public participation. The first one is going to be Ms. Nancy Place, and her topic is regarding the closing of Diana Davenport.
Hello, good evening. My name is Nancy Keys, and I live in the community of Canopillo. I have been employed by the district for 27 years. My most recent position has been for 14 years as a teacher at Diana Davenport Elementary. Proudly, I must say. So I've been aware that the closure of Diana Davenport Elementary was discussed as a potential solution to address our financial challenges as a district during one of last week's meetings, so that's why I'm here to speak on that. I'm here today to strongly advocate for our campus and our vibrant community. It's a very unique community that Diana Davenport is at. And my main concern is that such a decision would not only impact our school, our staff, our students, but most profoundly our families that rely on that hub in that community. Our community would face significant isolation because they're already like kind of separated in the neighborhood. If Diana Davenport were to close the doors, many families would encounter barriers to full participation in our events, in our programs, because of transportation limitations. So even though our students would possibly be bused to wherever they would be placed, but there would be, was that the bell?
No.
The families, a lot of our families, they walk to go pick up their kids. They walk, if their child is sick and they get called, they walk to go and pick up their child. After school, there's not bus home. So then, if they're placed somewhere else out of the community, we have those issues. We have several of our families, the grandparents are the ones that they transport the kids back and forth, and they only drive in the community because of the age or whatever it may be. They don't get on the highway or, anywhere past the community. So then they just drive in that little community. So I feel that our school holds a very special place in our hearts, and the bonds within the community are strong. Therefore, I urge you to explore alternative avenues to resolve our financial deficit, ones that do not involve closing Diana Davenport Elementary. I believe that with creative solutions and collaborative efforts, we can preserve both our school and the essence of our cherished community. Thank you for considering this perspective.
Thank you. Next person is going to be Ms. Sonia Friday regarding the 2024 school call.
Good evening. I'm here today because, and of the other community members out here, we have significant concerns regarding the $386 million bond election to be taken in effect in May, out there, to be posted on the polls. On top of that, it came to the attention that it's up on the platforms that the district is in debt $79 million. Okay, now, the reasons I will mention that we are highly refusing this is because of the lack of trust and transparency on your all behalf. First, the financial mismanagement. Despite previously you all claimed the high-rated managing personnel, and now you all are in debt, you all are losing staff, and the lack of deteriorating environments for our students. Now, the leadership members and the board members and leadership here, also, a main thing is you all refuse to take pornography out of our schools, all in the name of genderqueer. All under the LGBTQ curriculum is accessed through Project Vida. You have refused to listen to parents to remove that. Now, the salaries are extremely high for administration here. Disappropriately high, considering other campuses or other nearing neighborhood campuses or districts. Now, also, although you all are serving in an educational platform, it was said that you have a misconception and are misinformed about separation of state and church. You all voted to vote down chaplain counseling services for our students. Okay, now let me explain. The founders of America knew the importance to maintain our system with principles of faith. Separation of church and state, FYI, is not in the Constitution. Okay, our military, our hospitals, universities, governments, even funeral homes, they have chaplains. Why not our children? In need of our students and our social workers here. Now, the safety and for our kids, there was a lot of fights. I think leadership was I don't know where to not account answers for parents, very concerned parents, when there was violence and chaos in our high school. And last, I've experienced this, the hostility against parents and community seeking answers is great and very frequent here. Superintendent once has the history, if not many, of taking his authority, okay, to remove very concerned parents out when seeking answers. Please do not place this burden on this small district. Thank you.
Next participant is going to be Mr. Larry Spears concerning the possible school closing.
Good evening, members of the school board. I stand before you today not just as an individual, but as a collective voice of our entire community in Westway. We come together in unity and urgency to implore you to reconsider the decision to possibly close down our beloved Deanna County Port. Our school isn't just a building where children come to learn, it's the heart of our community. In a place where many families struggle financially, our school serves as a beacon of hope, a sanctuary of learning and growth. But beyond that, it's a lifeline. The availability of extracurricular activities at our school is crucial for many of our students who rely on the convenience of walking to and from school. Closing our doors would not only disrupt their education, but also jeopardize a fundamental aspect of their daily lives. Unlike students in more affluent schools, our students' parents may lack the financial resources and time to transport them to external activities such as Little League sports and other clubs. We serve as the primary source of these opportunities, making them an integral part of our students' overall development. It is essential to recognize and preserve this vital aspect as we appeal to the board to reconsider even possibly closing our school. In a community where positive role models are scarce, our school fills that void. Our teachers and staff are more than educators. We are mentors, guiding lights in the lives of our students. Losing our school would mean losing these invaluable role models, leaving our children adrift. We understand the concern about our low student population, but with more families moving into the area, our school has the potential to become even stronger, to serve even more students in need. Closing our doors will not only be a disservice to our current students, but also to the future generations who deserve the same opportunity that we fight for today. We urge you to reconsider the profound impact that closing our school would have on our community. Our school is more than just a building. It's the embodiment of our collective spirit, resilience, and determination. Please do not extinguish that light. Thank you.
Next participant is going to be Ms. Martha Castillo in regards to the Ana Davenport Elementary.
Good evening, school board members. I speak to you with heartfelt concern regarding the proposed closure of our beloved elementary school, Ana Davenport. The impact of such decision cannot be overstated. Not only will it disrupt the continued education of our students, but it can also cause immense strain on our parents and the Westway community as a whole. Our elementary school serves as a cornerstone of learning, fostering growth, nurturing young minds for our children of Westway. If the option is to close its doors, it would affect a vital support system for our children's academic and social development and would limit them from participating in extracurricular activities. I urge you as an educator and a member of this community to consider the profound implications of this decision and explore alternative solutions that prioritize the well-being and educational needs of our students. Together, let us preserve the essence of our Westway community and ensure a brighter future for our generations to come. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next participant is Ms. Carol Cassidy regarding taxes.
Good evening. So glad to be here, and how beautiful all these good people wanting to keep their schools open, but I'm wondering how much taxes are you guys prepared to pay? The debt for this district that with a falling enrollment under 6,000 now is, according to the Texas Bond Review Board, more than $79 million. Now, all of the KVIA and all the KTSM are talking about a measly $6 million. Oh, give me a break. All right, and according to your enrollment, this is outrageous. I cannot believe that the state of Texas would allow this district to be functioning. Actually, there are a group of us, parents, grandparents, etc., concerned citizens in this beautiful county called El Paso, which I'm very grateful that I live here. We have to collapse at least 7 districts. There are 9 ISDs in El Paso County, and the debts are absolutely astronomical. Most of us would be made homeless, folks, if they imposed the taxes that they needed to impose. Pay attention. It's your properties, your businesses that are at stake. We have these beautiful children here, and their curriculum is woke, all right? So you heard Mrs. Strayer talk about it. We have great documents, history books, where children can learn the true founding of this nation, and it is with the Bible. And there is no separation of church and state in America's founding documents. That's in Russia. That's the Communist Manifesto. All right, I think have I passed my time? In any case, I'm here to defend the children from the outrageous curriculum that you guys, how many children are you transitioning, transgender and all that nonsense, all that insanity against God's law? Anyway, I'm here for the families that live in this beautiful community. I've traveled a lot of this Conatio taking a look to see how many more taxes can you good people afford. Please understand, the United States is now broke. 34 trillion is our debt. I don't know, if they start coming after us, they're going to steal all of our property and our small businesses. And it is small businesses, the basis of this country. I want the future for the beautiful children that live here across El Paso County to have the American dream. Well, the American dream cannot be saddled with debt. And this district is monumental with debt. Go take a look, I dare all of you. The Texas Bond Review Board, go see. You can print out for yourself the debts. Thank you very much, and lots of prayers, and hopefully you guys are in prayer for this nation, and to bless your own children, no debt. Teach them, homeschool them. The homeschool programs of Texas are fantastic.
Excuse me. Thank you. If you are addressing the board, this is a board meeting, so please address the board and not the audience. Thank you.
Next participant is going to be Mr. Christopher Judge in regards to Canadillo Middle School bond.
Good evening, board members and Dr. Galaviz. On behalf of Canadillo Middle School STEAM Academy, I want to show my support for the 2024 bond. With updated facilities and resources, students will have access to better technology, equipment, and learning spaces, which will enhance their overall educational experience and help them thrive even more academically. As for accessibility, our current campus is in a location with one way in and one way out. The other exit entrance point is over a mile away, which is in Vinton. We have very few rooftop neighboring our campus. We are not in walking distance to most homes within our boundaries. Traffic right now is a headache for parents and for our commuters every day. With the construction project closures, we are seeing an uptick in traffic delays in our area more than ever. This bond will allow us to be accessible to our parents and students to serve their needs better. The relocation of the school can contribute to the development of the surrounding community. With greater visibility and modern amenities, it will attract new families in the area and create a sense of pride and identity among new current residents. Let's not forget that Canadillo Middle School is the oldest building standing right now, or built in 1974 here in Canadillo ISD. Those that have gone and visited our campus in the community, they have seen what our kids are going through, walking into classrooms with leaky roofs, holes in the floor. I mean, it's phenomenal. It's crazy what our students are going through or what they're in front of, but they're very resourceful with our teachers, what they're doing. However, the bond will help support the enhanced learning experience for our students. Thank you for possibly approving this potential bond for 2024. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next participant is Ms. Sabina Lazos regarding the consideration or approval of another calling of a bond election.
Good evening, Board of Trustees, Dr. Galaviz, and Canadillo community. My name is Sabina Lazos. I'm the Assistant Principal of Bill Childress Elementary. I stand before you not only as a CISD employee, but as a product of Canadillo. I attended BCE, CMS, and graduated from CHS in 2011. My intention is to advocate for the approval of calling a bond election that will significantly impact the future of our community and the education of our youth. This decision is not just about financial investment. It truly is a commitment to the well-being and success of our children. Our schools are the foundation of our society because they shape the leaders and innovators of tomorrow. Investing in our schools demonstrates our dedication in nurturing the potential within every student and ensuring they have access to the best educational opportunities. Educational equity is at the core of our mission. Every student, regardless of their background or circumstances, deserves access to a high-quality education in a safe and supportive environment. This bond will help bridge that gap. The much-needed maintenance to our campuses cannot continue to be overlooked. From fixing heating and cooling issues to addressing aging roofs, these improvements will create an environment where schools can focus on teaching and learning rather than essential building repairs. Equally important is safety and security. Our schools were built in a different time. It is imperative that we modernize our campuses to meet the challenges of today. By upgrading security measures, we would be providing a safer learning environment for our students, faculty, and staff. Lastly, increased accessibility to feeder middle schools will enhance retention rates within our district as students transition from elementary to secondary. Approving this bond is not just about improving infrastructure. It's about investing in our community's future, ensuring educational equity, enhancing safety and security, and supporting accessibility and retention. I urge each of you to consider the profound impact this decision will have on the lives of our children and the future of our community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next participant is Ms. Maria Castillo, Principal at Jose Damian Elementary, for bond support.
Hello, board members and Dr. Garavis. First of all, thank you for all the work and dedication each of you has invested in our community. I stand before you today to reiterate the importance of approving the bond that will help benefit our community. First and foremost, by passing the bond, we are investing in our future scholars by providing them with access to the best possible educational opportunities. It is not only the building and equity that I speak of, but more importantly, access to an educational facility that has readily available resources such as working labs, running water, adequate heating and cooling, roofs that are not leaking on their assignments, floors that are not breaking, and much more. All these items that I just mentioned are not hearsay, but a sad reality that most of us witness in our facility tours. Our slogan at CISD is "Kids Deserve It." Let us live up to that standard and give an opportunity and a fighting chance to live up to this by approving the bond. Another area that is crucial for everyone in this room is safety and security. At the campus that I'm currently assigned, most of my teachers voice that they feel unsafe. A simple example is when we have lockdown drills, our students are hiding behind a shed that isn't open to everyone to see. Our police department has provided us with guidance and do their best to ensure that we are safe. However, it is evident that there are needs for safety and security upgrades. Again, I go back to our slogan, "Kids deserve it." They deserve to be kept safe and not have that at the back of their minds when they're trying to learn algebraic equations. Last but not least, we keep speaking about student enrollment and how it keeps declining. By approving the bond and in hopes that it passes, we will strategically place schools where there is a growing population. We live in a fast-paced world, and as parents as most of us are, we seek for convenience and what will help us get to our location at a faster pace. Even when we're at McDonald's, we want to speed up the process. So the placing of these schools will bring enrollment as we are facilitating the process of drop-off and pickup. I thank you once again for your time, and I leave you with this simple quote: don't wait until tomorrow, make a difference today.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next participant is Ms. Lupe Montañez, Diana Davenport Principal, regarding the bond.
Good evening, board members, Dr. Galaviz. Currently, Diana Davenport Elementary serves a smaller portion of the greater Garnafillo community. Yes, our community in Westway is very small. It is seeing the development of new rooftops, but unfortunately it's not at the rate that we expected. With this bond, we have an opportunity to keep our doors open, to continue to serve our current group of kids while we build and expand our footprint and serve a whole new crop of kids to carry on the legacy and pride of Garnafillo. This bond allows us to grow with our community and hopefully remain open until the new facility is completed. The relocation of Diana Davenport Elementary provides an opportunity to build a modern, state-of-the-art campus that can better accommodate the needs of students, teachers, and staff. This will create a more conducive learning environment for all our students. Construction of a larger facility in the chosen area will help increase our capacity to accommodate more students. This can help alleviate the overcrowding issues that we're having at other campuses. This will also ensure that every child in the district has access to continuous quality education and equal opportunities. DDE opened in the fall of 1990. Kind of feels like forever. Makes me feel old. A new campus will allow our current students the capacity to learn in similar modern facilities that neighboring districts provide with their recent bond money. There has been no bond passed in Canopio since 2011, and our students are missing out on access to spaces that accommodate modern day learning. Deanna Davenport is completely pro-bond. We want the bond to go forward, and we ask the board today to make that decision. I also do want to ask the board that we do have a lot of community members that feel that transparency is not there. Let's educate those community members so that they understand the importance of this bond. There's a lot of distrust, but the ones that are losing out from all of this, from the distrust from the community, is our students, is our staff. I'm sure that some of these distrusting parents have students in our community. They also have to realize that this is going to benefit them. And they also have to be educated and come to the meetings, the community meetings that we had, that you all learned and taught each one of us many, many different things. So again, I hope that we can continue to move forward with this bond, continue to educate our community so that misinformation is cleared up in regards to taxes, in regards to raising of taxes, and that we continue to be transparent with everyone so that the bond passes and at the end of the day that our students are provided with a quality education. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next participant is Yamile Contreras with Mr. Fred Clark regarding Northwest Early College bond.
Board President, Board of Trustees, Dr. Galavis. On behalf of the Northwest Early College community, we are here to ask for the bond measure to be placed on the May ballot. Before our student representative talks about some of the issues that we encounter on a daily basis, I wanted to remind everybody about what our school does every single year with lack of resources and declining money to do so. Also, with the lack of appropriate safeguards or a wide open campus that has a 5-foot fence. It's nice to stand on a floor that I'm not going to fall through today as well. I just want to share that students walk in and walk out of our school after 4 years and their families save over $30,000 in tuition fees and in books. Each student walks out of our campus earning on average $50,000 in scholarship monies. 80% of our students walk out with an associate's degree from El Paso Community College. They walk out with way more than we are able to put in financially. And if our budgets continue to shrink, we continue to have to operate out of subpar conditions, that's not attainable for the future. I'm going to let our student representative, Ms. Yamilet Contreras, who is our BPA president, say a couple of words about the bond.
So good evening, board members. How are we all today? My name is Yamilet Contreras. I am currently a junior attending Northwest Early College High School, a school well known for all its achievements, both its students, its teachers, and even its representative constantly bring to the table. However, we are missing one thing, a building, something of which is supposed to provide us with safety and ultimately enhance our academic achievements. But why is that? Why do we need such a thing? Well, on more than one occasion this past year, our students have ultimately felt like they have no place to learn because we have no portables to study in, and we are constantly fearing that water will constantly get on our homework, our assignments, our projects, or even our media outlets that we use. With that, on some lockdowns, most students that we have at our school have told me that they have felt unsafe, as on some occasions, some of our students have had to run to the desert to hide, and ultimately question whether they are safe there or anywhere near there. Whether it is okay to attend a school that doesn't even know what will happen the next day, or whether or not they are protected adequately. Personally, I think this bond is long overdue. We, the students, deserve a campus that will ultimately provide us with amenities and resources to meet our high academic pursuits. Currently, the delegated portables that we are studying in today are denying us even the basic support to reach our potential, and yet we have managed to succeed in spite of it all. I believe that this is the time we give our students what we deserve. And if it's not for me, do it for the future generations that will continue to bring great names to our great campus. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next participant is going to be Dr. Jessica Melendez Cabello in regarding her bond support.
Good evening, President Rodriguez, members of the board, and Superintendent Dr. Galaviz. My name is Jessica Melendez Cabello, and I'm the proud principal of Congressman Silvestre and Carolina Reyes Elementary School. This past Sunday marked my 5th year as a principal, and I have loved every minute of it. I'm thankful for your leadership as we face challenging times, and I'm here to express my support for the bond and the reasons why it would be beneficial. Reason number 1, it will alleviate the overcrowding at Reyes Elementary. We're now at 104% capacity. Reason number 2, community investment. By approving the bond, we're investing in the future of our community and ensuring that our children have access to the best possible educational opportunities. Reason number 3, upgrades. We will have the opportunity to make much needed upgrades to every campus in the district. Reason number 4, safety and security. Reason number 5, accessibility and retention. Increased accessibility to feeder middle schools will allow to keep our student population moving throughout elementary, middle school, and high school in our district. The last 5 years I have served as principal, we have experienced an accelerated growth in the area. I've had to make very difficult decisions and creative decisions to accommodate the growth and convert spaces such as locker rooms into GT rooms, a book room into a classroom, and a custodial closet into a classroom. Additionally, we installed 2 functional portables that currently serve 2 second-grade classrooms. This school year, we were able to get back some of those spaces. During the past 19 years, I have seen this district bloom into not only an HEB Best Small District, but as a AAA graded district. As a campus leader, my top priorities are our students and to be able to provide a safe and adequate learning environment. Right now, we have the opportunity to change the outcome. Change the outcome. Accommodate the growth that we're rapidly experiencing in Canopillo to continue to be the best. I thank you for your time and your advocacy as leaders for our community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next participant is Maria Alarcón, Garcia Elementary Principal, regarding her bond support.
Good evening, President Rodriguez, Dr. Galaviz, and school board members. My name is Maria Alarcón. I am the principal of Gonzalo and Sofia Garcia Elementary School. And I'm also a proud member of this community and have seen how it's changed and grown. By approving to move forward with the bond, we are investing in the future of our community and making sure that our students have access to the best possible education opportunities. If our students achieve to their maximum potential, they will meet the challenges of building a better world. Our students deserve to be educated in the best schools, safe buildings, supportive environments, and have access and equal opportunities for success. At Garcia Elementary, at the moment, we have limited space for the following. When we have inclement weather, our students do PE in our kinder foyer. And those of you that have gone to the building Garcia, you know that our foyer is not that big. And also, we have limited space for our growing Montessori program that is expanding. Our after-school activities, such as the After-School Centers of Education, our ACE program, the robotics, basketball, and folklorico, just to name a few. Additionally, our high-impact tutoring that occurs at our ACE program and our Good News Club, they're being held in the hallways because we don't have any other place to go. If we can pass the bond and be able to do school upgrades, our campus will benefit from having a multi-purpose room. Our school is fairly new and does not need any repairs, but other schools do. Our elementary students will eventually go to our middle school and high schools, and they deserve to continue to receive a high-quality education without worrying about having adequate HVAC or needing any other repairs. The time is now to put our students' education first at the CISD, and by moving forward with the bond, it is the first step in the right direction. So thank you, school board members, for your hard work and for all your support and attention.
Thank you.
Next participant is Andrea Esparza, principal, supporting the bond.
Good evening, board members and all members of the community. My name is Andrea Esparza, and I'm the private principal at Canopio Elementary, and I'm also a parent of 3 children in the Canopio School District. I am standing before you just to share a few words on behalf of the proposed bond election, but not just to you as board members, but as the whole community. Our families, teachers, students, and Canopio community have been a strong force to reckon with for several years now, and our state scores and accolades are proof of that. We are not the lone school district far out west that nobody knows of. We are trailblazers, and we continue to grow and do wonders on a daily basis. We continue to outshine others in the classroom, out on the athletic field, and in numerous academic and fine arts competitions. And we do all of this with limited resources that we have had for years. Our teachers continue to work their magic with these limited resources and will continue to do so because that is what they do. But don't we owe them more than that? Don't we owe our future the best that we can possibly give them? There is a strong relationship between resources and student outcomes. Imagine the outcomes that can be created with new, more advanced resources. Imagine the educational equity we can provide to our children and students with all these upgrades. And imagine the future success of our district if this commitment not only comes from the board or from the community, but from all our stakeholders. We look for everyone to vote yes, not just for a monetary investment, but as an investment that allows our district, our teachers, our students, and our families to have the best possible educational opportunity and future success.
Thank you.
Next participant is Nidia Avila, principal, regarding the bond.
Good evening, board members and Dr. Galaviz. I am here to advocate in the support and asking you to consider to move forward with the bond of 2024. I am the proud principal of Alderete Public Service Middle School. The reasons being is, first of all, with the population expected to continue growing in the Enchanted area, now is the time to address the relocation of Alderete Middle School. By approving the bond, we are proactively planning for the future, growing and ensuring that our district serves kids in every community that touches our district. We owe the kids in the areas that we don't currently serve the right to an area middle school with modern facilities, learning facilities, and opportunities. We currently have safety concerns. The current location of Alderete poses safety concerns due to its proximity to high traffic areas and narrow walking spaces. We also have a concern in student retention. Students from various elementary often leave our district once they hit middle school due to the lack of a middle school servicing the neighborhoods. A relocation will ensure we provide those students with an equitable option surrounding their community. It will also attract students who have never been a part of our district. Alderete Middle School is the only public service middle school in El Paso. We are the only middle school that is providing 3 different academies. We provide a medical, a law, and law enforcement and education. A modern facility will allow our spaces to maximize possibilities for each of our academies and opportunities for our students. Thank you.
Next participant, Mr. Sergio Martinez, in regards to the bond.
Good evening, Mr. President, Board of Trustees, Mr. Superintendent. Thank you for allowing me to speak in support for the bond. I've been involved in the task force for the past 3 years, and I'm very active. I'm very active in this community. And one of the things that we're seeing before you is a large amount passing for the bond issue, and I support it 100%. We are not, this is not some, we're looking for luxury buildings, we're looking for something for our kids. Our kids are the best kids in the county. We used to be the poorest district in the county. No, we're no longer the poorest district. We have a lot of growth. Like Ms. Borrego was saying, now people are coming to Canutillo to get a Porsche. Wow, that's a heck of a change. There's a lot of growth going on. The development that we're seeing is not that we're trying to provide for those people east of the interstate. We're actually reacting. We're not being proactive. We should have done this a while back in 2019 perhaps, okay? There's people that are gonna say, no, we don't want the taxes to go up. With all due respect, if they don't want the taxes to go up, there's gas in ISD, just across the board, okay? That's very unfortunate. Our kids need the best facilities. Our kids need to have a better environment, a safer environment where they can call home on a daily basis. Northwest Campus, it's sad to walk through those facilities. The early college campus is very sad. And when the kids are saying that they have to hide in the bushes because they don't know what's going on, they don't have a safety environment, it's very sad. So I'm in support of the bond issue. You have all my support. I will do whatever it takes to pass this bond. And thank you for all the work that you do. Thank you.
Next, we have Mr. Bruno Vasquez in regards to gratitude and appreciation to the board.
Good evening, Board President, members of the board, Dr. Galaviz, and members of the community. As you are aware, tonight is my last board meeting, and I wouldn't be myself if I don't take time to express my gratitude and to the Canutillo community for the privilege of serving you for several years. I think I'm the longest serving facilities director, not because I'm very good, but because I'm very stubborn, and because I learned to love this community very much. But it's time for me to continue my journey into my beloved profession of architecture. I can't think of anybody better than Dr. Rico to take over the department, so I'm very happy and very grateful for the opportunity to have been working with him over the last couple of days to ensure a smooth transition. I was not raised and I never went to school in Canutillo, but I really learned to love and I feel very close to this community. I always try to do what's best for everybody, and I mean everybody in the community. I hope that one day I can return to this district and serve as the architect of record on one of your much needed projects. Progress costs money, and it takes a lot, but it's needed, and it's definitely something that the district deserves. Finally, I want to recognize the amazing, the wonderful staff that I serve with, your groundskeepers, your maintenance workers, your bus drivers. They are the engine that keeps the district moving forward. Please, if I can ask anything, take care of them. They have worked like you have no idea. to keep the district working, despite everything, despite all of the shortages, despite the very limited resources. They are your best bet in continuing operating the district. They are the ones that fix those floors. They are the ones that go to the roofs. They are the ones that when it's 110, they go out and they fix your broken HVAC units. It's not for lack of trying. They are the best people that you have in serving these kids. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Item number 3, Board of Trustees business. Consideration and approval of order calling the bond election to be held by Canopy Independent School District, making provisions for the conduct of a joint election, and resolving other matters incident and related to such election.
Board President, members of the board, Superintendent Galaviz. We come before you to bring you some information from the Facilities Task Committee, or Facilities Assessment Task Committee, yes, that we put together at your behalf and at your request several weeks ago. So I will be presenting today along with Mr. Reveles on the results of this whole journey that you have placed us in. So we have this presentation to show. But first of all, I want to express the gratitude that we have towards this committee. I understand it took a long time. It took a lot of sacrificing on their behalf to provide you with a recommendation moving forward today.
As you know, you created the Facilities Assessment Task Force to address two of the main issues facing the school district. The state of our school buildings, the infrastructure of our district, and the continued loss of enrollment. So this task force took that to heart, and we discussed with them, next slide, the district challenges, which include the age of our buildings. On average, they're about 25 years old. The lack of schools in our fast-growth neighborhoods, the continued lack of enrollment from those new neighborhoods, and of course the impact that these issues have on our budget. As it stands right now, we have about 1,800 students that live within our boundaries but do not come to our schools, never come to our schools, and that is having an impact to our budget of about $17 million. When we're talking about a deficit budget, and we're talking about challenges in balancing our budget because of the lack of activity from our legislature and other factors like inflation, that is money that is really needed for us. So we need to address that issue. The task force membership, of course, was made up of people from within our community, parents, employees, taxpayers, a lot of them who you recommended, a lot of them who we identified because of their commitment to the school district. A lot of them came with support for the school district. A lot of them came with doubts and with reservations about how to move forward. We wanted to engage with a diverse group of people in order to really delve into the issues and come up with a recommendation that is significant and that truly reflects the sentiment of the community. Around 50 people showed up on a regular basis for several weeks to engage with us and to really assess the state of our facilities and our future. And if there's any of the members that are here today, I would ask for them to please stand up and be recognized because they spent a month and a half with us working after hours. Like we mentioned, we had a total of 5 meetings, month and a half worth of meetings, where we toured schools, where we assessed information and asked questions. We talked to experts regarding the state of our facilities and our outlook. We also had community meetings for those people that were not involved in the committee. We wanted to make sure that the community at large was involved. We had both in-person and virtual meetings. We engaged our community via a mail-out survey that was mailed to every parent, employee, and voter in the school district. We wanted to hear back from them, and we wanted to make sure that we heard what they had to say, and that they also heard what we had to say on that. We had the results there of the survey that we put out, and we did tons of media as well. There was a lot of interest regarding our activity, a lot of interest regarding the state of our finances and the state of our school. So we did that as well. And at the end, last week, the committee came together and with the advice of our financial advisor, our bond counsel, our architects, partners, and other experts, they came up with this recommendation for you to consider. And I'll let Dr. Rico.
So here's the recommendation that is being brought forth to you, board. I can tell you that this was not a unanimous agreement at the beginning, right? It was something that we all have to look and navigate through different ideas, and that is why the work of this diverse group of stakeholders was so prized, right? Because we were able to really take everybody to understand the needs of the district and to be able to put together a recommendation that might not be the choice of each one of them in each one of those different projects, but it's something that the entire committee came together to provide for our kids. Even if not all of our different recommendations were in there, they selected a package that fits the needs of our community. So here's the recommendations that they had. Number one is reconstruction and relocation of Davenport Elementary to the Enchanted Hills subdivision. So that would mean relocating Davenport south of its current location. Also, reconstruction and relocation of Alderete Middle School to the Enchanted Hills subdivision. Right, so moving on that side of the interstate. Reconstruction and relocation of Canudillo Middle School to a new Upper Valley site. So also moving Canudillo Middle School south to where it's more accessible to different points of the district and where the student demographics are found. Another thing that we see on there that you heard tonight as well is for Northwest Early College. So this would imply a brick and mortar campus for Northwest Early College High School on its current footprint, right? So we will be working with the El Paso Community College, if this bond is called, to get up all these specifics and details as to how that lease would go as that campus would go there and serve the community of Northwest Early College. Another thing that is on there is district-wide upgrades for safety and security. As you remember, we started with a certain dollar amount, but to account for new construction, some of that dollar amount kept being reduced as the new campuses would be outfitted with these recommendations on there, right? So one thing that I do want to clarify when we look at these next ones, for new roofs for CHS, CES, BCE, JDE, and GES, and HVAC upgrades for CHS, CES, BCE, JDE, GES, and RES. It has been a question in the community as to what's going to happen when it passes, and we were recommending roofs and HVAC upgrades for campuses that were going to be designated to be rebuilt. As you can clearly see here, and you can clearly tell your constituents as well, those recommended for new construction do not have the upgrades listed because they will be included in the new construction. So repairs and upgrades also for CES, BCE, JDE, GES, and RES, and that is to account for the fact that those are not going to be new campuses. And this was at the request of the committee, specifically the career and technical education upgrades at Canudillo High School. So that was added by the committee also at our last meeting to ensure that we have adequate space for those career tech. And then finally, the baseball and softball lights at Canudillo High School. So it would be allowing students to not have to miss classes, they participate in those extracurricular activities, since lights would be there, increase parental participation as well. So that is all of the first proposal, which goes on that bond measure. The next one is the repayment of $7.2 million in debt for the maintenance tax notes, so we'll be able to refinance that Canudillo one-to-one initiative that we had back at during the pandemic. So those are the two proposals that will be on the bond ballot as proposed by the city.
tax impact, if approved, would be of 2 cents to our current tax rate. That is, according to our financial advisor, what would be added to the tax rate for the Calvillo residents. The average district home, which is currently valued at around $288,000, that means about $3.17 per month. If approved, this would add, therefore, that amount to the tax bill for the school tax. Of course, qualifying senior citizens will not see their taxes increase because of state rules and homestead exemption. And this is the first year that we are going to experience an increased homestead exemption for all homeowners of $100,000. So there's a tax break on that. Election day is Saturday, May 4th, with early voting on April 22nd through the 30th. And the ballot would be split into the first proposition would be the 386.2 for new construction, upgrades, and repairs. That's all the construction happening that we outlined. And proposition B would be the repayment of the maintenance tax. It's important to know that the repayment of those maintenance tax notes would create a relief to our general fund, our general budget, because that is money that we would, for about $1 million that we pay out of the general fund every year, and that would be shifted from the general fund to the IMS fund, through the fund. Of course, it's important to note that the board, if approved today, as far as the election, calling the election, the board will take on a later meeting contract with the voters, the resolution that will outline the district's commitment to the list of projects recommended by the Facilities Assessment Task Force, and create a document that the committee and the community would be able to point to when it comes to making sure that there's accountability, transparency, and that the board shows that same commitment to finishing the project list that we communicate to the voters. We again want to thank not just the board for creating the task force and for joining us in most of these outings, but the task force itself for coming out, spending many afternoons with us, and really giving us their all in creating this recommendation. And now, Dr. Galaviz and Mr. Rodriguez, you guys have a proposition in front of you to consider if you so desire to call for the bond. It's yes, it's the order. It's up there, the order.
Yeah, we're gonna have discussion unless there's a motion.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna move. Yeah, no, I have a question. I wanna make the motion.
Okay, we'll make a motion and get a second, and then we'll open it up for discussion.
Okay, I move that the board adopt an order calling the bond election to be held by the Cantillo Independent School District on May 4th, 2024 in the amount of $386,240,000.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, there's a motion and a second.
I'll second the motion.
Thank you. There's a motion and a second, and at this time I'll allow for discussion. I do have some questions as well, but I'll let you go first.
So my questions are on the second packet you gave us. Has kind of a breakdown of, it says voter information document. So I'm currently on Exhibit C. So I just want to, I guess, break down these numbers, make sure I'm understanding them correctly. So I know the $378.9 million that we're looking at, that would be the debt principal based off of Proposition A. Is that correct? Okay, and then the interest, the 5% interest off of that, we would be paying an additional $363.5 million on interest on that amount. Is that correct?
It's C1, right?
Yes, I'm sorry, C1.
I guess it's bond council and and RFA.
Oh, thank you. I'm
You all
sorry.
both could come up.
Sorry about that. I thought you guys were all set.
Start going right now.
Good evening, President Rodriguez, Board of Trustees, President Galaviz, Superintendent. Good president of my eyes. To answer your question real quick, so for
the way the ballot language needs to read, we have to make an assumption on the interest rate.
Okay.
And so in today's environment, it's roughly around 4% for
Okay.
bonds. For modeling purposes, we use a 5% interest rate.
Just
on it.
like
And it's very similar to the way you and I pay our mortgage.
Mhm.
You know, there's a set interest rate, we have the same payment every year for 30
Right.
years. That's just an accumulation of 30 years worth of interest.
Okay. So I just wanted to make sure I was understanding that correct. So then line item 3 would be the total between the principal and the interest. We're looking at $742.4 million, correct?
That's correct, yes. That's adding the principal and the interest on the bonds.
And then line item 4 is our current principal that we have debt-wise,
That's correct.
66.7 million. And then the interest off of that would be 19.2, making our current debt with all interest 88 million.
That's currently as it stands. As you know, we do take advantage of when the market interest rates dip. And so we will be refinancing some of these bonds, like we've done over the past decade to save on interest costs.
So
as
hopefully
it
we would
stands
save
right now,
on that interest.
that's it, yes.
Okay, so then taking that into consideration with C3 for Proposition B in total, I basically have that with both of those, our total debt with our interest, if both of those pass, would be approximately $839 million, interest and principal. Does that sound, I added those up. I just wanted to make sure I was understanding correctly. Okay, so that's really my question. I wanted to make sure I was understanding those numbers in this document correctly.
Yes,
Thank you.
Just real quick on there was a question, or there was a statement made that we were 79 million in debt, and I think it's on the number 4. Can you go into that just a little bit?
You know, the Bond Review Board is an excellent source to look at the school district's outstanding debt. However, it's not updated in real time. It's about once per year. And so the data that the lady was referencing is a little outdated by about a year and a half. And so we paid off some debt back in August of 23. We're about to pay off some debt on the 15th. And then we did a cash defeasance earlier this year of about $6.5 million. So currently as it stands, it's 66.
And what have we looked at, like in savings, just in that short time span? Because that pretty much goes to the one that's on top, which is the 742 when you get out of the loan. And pretty much looking at refinancing and interest rates, but just some historical of what we've been able to do, because I think the district has been extremely prudent with its management of the debt service fund as well as the INS tax rate by taking advantage, like you said, of the historically low interest rates and then the cash defeasance as well. And so we've been able to build that capacity for future growth, and that's why we have the ability to actually look at the size of the bond and making it just 2 cents. So can you go into?
Sure thing. I think real quick, all the credit really goes to your staff. Superintendent Galavis and your CFO, Martha Pekarsky, over the past decade have really taken advantage of the low interest rate environment that we've been in, historically low. So we were, 5 years ago, we were selling bonds at 2% interest rates. And we took advantage of that with refinancing 5% debt with 2% debt. Those savings added up over the past decade. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I would estimate it's well into the 5 figures. And with that, through this past decade of growth, we've doubled in size. And so we've been able to maintain our tax rate at the same level on the INS side for over 10 years. And by doing so, we take advantage of the property growth value. And any excess collections and taxes, we use that money to pay down debt earlier. 10 years ago, we had no capacity. So it took us 10 years to today in order to build $400, $500 million in capacity.
And that's allowed us sort of in regards to the reason why we have to go to that debt, and we probably, everybody's had this presentation, but just those that don't, we've had to go into debt because that's the only way we're able to build buildings, because our budget is pretty much.
The way our budget's set up by the state, there's no excess money available for us to just build, new construction with cash. And so we have to go out just like every single consumer, like you and I, you have to go out and borrow money. We have a very good credit rating as a school district. We're AA2. That's a very strong credit rating for a school district. And again, it goes back to the management the economy and to your community believing in our fiscal management skills.
And I guess thank you for that. I think the most important thing, and I'm going to go into a little bit more, because what we do have is our budget, and then we have the bond, and that's the only way to actually build some of these facilities. But in regards to the budget, we've also been fiscally responsible and balanced budgets over the last 7 years. And it's just been this year because of the inaction of the state legislature, the increase of inflationary costs, as well as the decrease of the decrease in enrollment. And so we've been able to, in the past, be fiscally responsible by balancing budgets, and that's the situation we're in. So we've tasked, we actually met on Saturday, and we'll probably be meeting this Saturday again, that we're going to roll out with a campaign to inform the voters, because we know this is going to be critical. And so we're going to look at any and every business owner in the community, as well as restaurants, churches, community events. So if you all know of anything, feel free to let our PIO and our staff know, so we could be attending these events to inform the community. There's like brainstorming ideas of maybe having informational tables at each one of our businesses that does support investing in our community and our students. And so the other thing is that we're looking at developing, once the new budget presentation as well as a bond presentation come out, we're looking at toolkits to be able to equip you all as the committee members and the rest of the community with that, as well as fact sheets, so that way we could go out and educate the community together. And so there's a lot of work that still needs to be done, but we really appreciate the work that the committee has put in. As we know from January 6th, when we were all here, there was a lot of questions and stuff that needed to be answered. And over the time, you as a community and as a committee were able to come together and provide the recommendations, which you did. And that was at the end, which was February 7th, we had 50 people and a recommendation of what was presented, and one person no, and the board appreciated the work that you all did and took that committee's recommendation. So we really appreciate the committee. But I want to hopefully, I know when we roll out the information campaign, hopefully we could get back together and then work on how we do that. And we're probably looking at, I think we'll probably do a lot of information from now till the March primary ends, because I don't, the discussion is that we don't want to mix the March primary with the bond election, because it's not going to be on the ballot. But then once that happens, then we go full force. So again, thank you to the committee for your past work, and hoping that we could continue to work on being able to present to the community. We're looking at probably every Saturday. If I'm in town, I'm going to be out knocking on doors, and hopefully we could get more people, and then possibly on Sundays going to community events and churches to inform the community. The other thing that I wanted to talk about was the tax maintenance notes. Within the Prop B, if we're looking at, it's what, 1.2 within the M&O side, the maintenance and operations side, and that totals up to, would you say 20 possible employees? Or anywhere from, let's be conservative, anywhere from 10 to 20, maybe 15, depending on where that, so that is important for us, as not only do we look at being able to rebuild our community in a way that our kids deserve, and our teachers have been tremendously at the forefront and in the classroom, really providing excellent educational opportunities for our kids. So I really appreciate all the work that has taken place in looking forward. In regards to EDE, our main concern and conversations we've had, we want to hopefully save that as a last resort. In regards to the closure, and we'll be looking in May. Well, in regards to, there's going to be recommendations, of course. This is the way the board works, right? The board takes the recommendations from the superintendent, and we're going to have those conversations with the community, because it's a critical conversation, and where, from my understanding, you're looking at talking to the community right pretty soon. So a lot of tough decisions, but we're trying to really do what's in the best interest of our district, and we'll continue to work this out. Just because I wanted to go over some of the comments that had came by, but I think that's it for right now. Yeah, of course. And Paris is our student advisor, and she'll get the mic. Is it open?
You want to go to blood?
Right here. Join us.
Hello everyone, as many of you will know, my name is Paris Gastelum and I'm a student at Northwest Early College High School, and I want to offer a student perspective on why it is imperative that we invest in our community's future, and by doing so create a brick and mortar building for my school, Northwest Early College High School. So first I would like to talk about the safety and security of our campus. As you heard from my friend Yamilet, who spoke at the open forum, our students walk in the wide open outdoor spaces to get to class, and that means that there's no protection against intruders, and it's our responsibility to safeguard our students, and we can't adequately protect them without a building that we can secure and monitor to keep them safe from any possible threat. From my experience, it is frightening every time I hear about threats in surrounding areas of my school, since it is an open campus. As we previously stated, students have tried to run to the nearby desert to hide during lockdowns, and it really is something that's frightening to everyone, students, staff, and teachers included. And then third, I would like to talk about the enhanced learning spaces. And so our students choose to attend our school, and they do so because they value academics, and their commitment to education has made us one of the best high schools in the nation. And students are thriving academically, and they're doing so with limited resources and spaces to thrive. And so, as an example, last semester the portable for my calculus class had an air conditioning and heater that stopped functioning, like the entire semester. And we had to learn in the cafeteria of our school. We were relocated there for most of the semester, and we took quizzes, exams in the cafeteria where we had distractions and noise, and this is due to the portables deteriorating through time. And so, by the time that the portable was fixed, my calculus class had ended, and so in addition to that, the portables are deteriorating as we've had issues with mold, leakage, and in one instance someone fell through the floor of our portables. And so, students have to walk to class through rain, snow, wind, dust storms, you name it. So that's why I think it's imperative that we take action to invest in our community's future. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Is there any other questions from the board? There's a motion on the floor, and can you pull the, in a second.
Mrs. Barnes.
Adrian, for the record, please. I appreciate the time the community put into this process, but I believe that there's still a lot of division and mistrust within our community in regard to the district and our finances. And I think that it wouldn't be a fiscally responsible action for us to take on such a large debt as we discussed with our interest and everything. We would possibly looking at $839 million overall during this difficult time with our financial situation. This debt is not fiscally responsible. I could have gotten behind possibly a lower amount that would have taken care of our current buildings, facilities, which would have been about $91.5 million. Safety and security is just 8.3 on the current bond being proposed, and then another 34 million for sure for Natchez Early College. But because of my reservations due to the things that are there that I don't think should be, right now, my vote tonight will be no.
And since I guess there was discussion, I do want to look at, if you look at, there's a fact sheet that will be going out, and as you've seen and we've seen through our financial advisor and others, that the community is, they have the ultimate choice, right? But at the end, there's only a 2-cent increase, which would be $3.17 monthly to the average Canapillo home, and there's zero tax impact to the senior citizens. So I think it's important, and hopefully after the vote, whatever the vote may be, that we come together as we've known, and training is that we come together and support the community and not divide our community. So with that, I'll continue to, if we could pull the board then.
Mrs. Borrego.
For the record, because our children, our community deserve this, my vote is absolutely, positively yes.
Who can follow that? Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Also, for the record, when our administration, the board, when we created this task force, and it was the best thing I think we did. We all said, okay, whatever our committee, whatever the community, our committee wants, we're all going to get behind it, whether we like it or not. And because some of our board members before had said that in the past, whenever a committee would tell us something, we wouldn't listen to them. We would do whatever we want. Well, we're doing it again. And I think that's terrible. That's why I think all of us should get behind this, and all of us should vote yes.
With everybody, mine's a definite yes.
I just want to take the vote from our student because this is historical. So if you want to share your vote with the community.
Yes.
Thank you so much, and looking forward to working as a community together. Thank our both our bond counsel and our financial advisor. The work continues. Looking forward to Saturday's meeting and how we can roll this out to our community. So, the committee, can you all stand one more time so we could. Thank you.
Item number 6, item number 4, meeting adjournment, time is 7:19.
Gentlemen, it's Valentine's Day tomorrow.
Gentlemen only.
All right, I'll sell some of the roses I'm gonna give my wife. In the parking lot.
What's your gentleman? Ladies and
And yeah, but I never got flowers now.